seems very dangerous.
Be danger for breakfast.
Actually, I eat pizza with bits of waffles on
Welcome into Box Office Quarterbacks. Welcome into my Turtle Dojo, as you can see by the merch by me. I'm very excited to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, today with my friend Ahmed. This movie is from the minds of Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, the guys who brought you Superbad and a whole bunch of other comedy classics. We'll get into that here in a second.
Man, I watched the movie today, and my first thought were it was adorable. It was cute. It's not your traditional Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. It's kind of like been brought into the 21st century with the Gen Z. Like, it's definitely a movie for kids. It's a movie for the Gen Z population, but I think it's a millennial gift to the Gen Z, if you will.
Yeah, they definitely modernized this story, which is a story we've known since the 80s when it was created by Kevin Eastman way back then. The Ninja Turtles were originally a parody on Daredevil, and we've gotten so many different iterations since then with the 90s movies where it was guys in a suit, the terrible Michael Bay movies where they're all CGI, and this one, which is animation kind of in the vein of Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I really did love what they did with these turtles, Ahmed. They did make them feel like they were teenagers living in our world today, how they, were into Drake and TikTok and anime Adele. And all these different things. Adele, man, it was adorable. It was really good to see actual teenagers play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, egg, and cheese. That's all I can think about right now.
Yeah.
That's going to be my new peaches.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those this year for sure. But yeah, the story is an origin story of the Turtles. We open the movie with Baxter Stockman, played by Giancarlo Esposito, with a very minor role here. And his lab is raided. The ooze goes down to the sewer. That's where we meet Splinter and the baby turtles, and we're off and running from that point. I thought that the story was very simple, and I really did like that, where it's not a multiversal thing. This is a run-of-the-mill origin story, which we haven't really had in a while, because I think a lot of these IPs are trying to do too much right now.
And I think a lot of movies, they try to put in too much. We had the same conversation about Super Mario Brothers, where the storyline was simple, but it was good in its simplicity. It's the traditional coming of age, but with, are we doing this for good intentions, or what is the purpose? And kind of seeing it from the perspective of human nature and others, if you will. It was nice, though. I loved it. And we talked about supporting roles. Are we going to talk about Jackie Chan?
Jackie Chan is so good as Splinter. Oh my God.
I knew Jackie Chan was going to be in the movie, and I was like, oh, cool. And then as I was watching the movie, all I could think about was, I am so happy right now. Like, I didn't need to see anything else. I just knew as soon as I heard Jackie Chan's voice, I'm like, I'm going to love this movie even more now. And I wasn't ready for everything else that came about.
And it's not your typical portrayal of Splinter, because Splinter in the past has been portrayed as like a kung fu master, and his main goal is to train up the turtles to protect New York City from mutants and Shredder and the Foot Clan and everything like that. Here, He's really a dad first and foremost, and I really did like that about the story. A single dad living in New York City can't find a nice mutant woman his age, and I thought it was just hilarious, all the stuff that they added with that. And yeah, the voice cast here is phenomenal. You do have 4 unknowns playing the turtles, which I did like, but you have Seth Rogen, who is obviously behind this movie as Bebop. John Cena as Rocksteady. You have Mondo Gecko, played by Paul Rudd. Mondo Gecko is so hilarious in this movie. There was a point where they're leaving the bowling alley, and they're like, hey, dude, are you good to drive? And then he just kind of looks in 2 different directions, and he's like, no,
No.
Man, had me
Yeah,
cracking up.
The supporting cast is incredible, man. Like it's going to be really hard, and I know it's coming, but I'm telling you right now, don't make me choose.
Oh, we are going to choose, but yeah, let's get into favorite scenes, and there's a lot to choose from. Ahmed, a lot of memorable set pieces for sure when it comes to Mutant Mayhem.
I really liked the opening sequence. I loved the montages where he's like, where Splinter is telling the story of the long version of how, they all kind of came to be. And it was beautiful. But I think if I had to pick my favorite scene, it would have to be when Splinter saves the boys, when he saves the teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from being milked. And
Yes.
it's just such a perfect scene, and the fight sequence, for a moment there, I really thought I was watching Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan is a stunt fighter. He was like, this is what he's known for. And he really just brought this role to life, which is so weird to say because it's just his voice, but it's like the creators or the animators kind of watched his old movies and were like, how would Jackie Chan do this? How would he fight from here? Even whenever he's running away from the bad guys, how would he run? And it was just so amazing. If you're a fan of Jackie as I am, you just love to see it, and the fact that he's still working, he's still doing his thing. It's awesome. We were all kind of hoping to see him in Shang-Chi, and sadly we didn't, but we had an amazing cast with that. But now I'm hoping we'll see more of Jackie.
Oh man.
Hashtag we want more Jackie.
We got a good version of the Mandarin in Shang-Chi, but if Jackie Chan played that role, holy crap, Shang-Chi's dad, that would have been fantastic as well. But yeah, the voice cast you can't go wrong with. There's just so many A-listers in here. I love April O'Neil and what they did with her character in this movie. She is, very much a product of the 80s when she was created, just kind of like, the bombshell reporter, and then this and this and that. I like seeing her origin story where she was a very unsure journalist at first, and then she kind of grew into that role by the end of the movie, and she's played by who is it? Ayo, yeah,
Edibiri. She is the talented actress in the movie, or I'm sorry, in the show, The Bear. And she also had a small role in Abbott Elementary as the main character's little sister. So she is killing it right now.
yeah. I loved her portrayal. They called her Puke Girl because she was reading the morning announcements and then she got nervous and she puked all over live school
They
TV.
showed the puke. I was not ready for that.
Just the song choice there was hilarious too. And that's the other thing I love. My favorite scene, Ahmed, will be something with those needle drops. And that would be the sequence where the turtles are fighting for the first time and they're playing No Diggity by Blackstreet. And you see Leo just going into the garage and beating these dudes up. You see Raph in like a kitchen kind of going after guys. I loved it. It was so perfect for a 90s kid like me to see
Mhm.
90s rap and the Turtles, two things I loved back then, together.
Yeah, you're introducing, like I said before, you're introducing a new generation to things that we've always loved, and kind of bridging those gaps between each other. And that's pretty awesome to see generationally. There's always this talk of you young kids today, you don't understand. And here we're, for lack of a better way, or a lack of a better word, we're literally giving it to them. We're showing them this is what it was like. But also allowing them to put a new spin on it. These young actors just did such an amazing job, and I wish I knew their names, but hopefully their careers blow up as a result of this.
Yeah, for sure. And one voice actor we didn't talk about yet is Ice Cube, who's the main
Yes,
villain of this
yes,
movie.
Superfly.
So cool. Such a cool villain.
Yeah, Ice Cube, you don't even recognize, which is a good thing. Because whenever you're watching a movie and sometimes you recognize the voice, it can make or break the portrayal of that character. With Ice Cube, you don't really recognize that it's him, but then you're like, oh wait, that's freaking Ice Cube. And then the little, one-liners he's got where he's rhyming. Oh, I was there for it, man. I loved it.
He was like, when they were in the bowling alley with him and then they're just kind of talking to him, it's like, hey, we're all cousins here. Like,
Yeah.
we're all, Baxter Stockman is my dad and he created you, kind of. Like, I loved everything about that. And and the ending when he like turns into this huge kaiju monster made up of a bunch of different animals, I thought that was a really cool visual sequence as well. Nothing but good things about this movie, Ahmed. But now is the time to choose your favorite character of this movie.
I think I've got to give it to Splinter, Jackie Chan as Splinter, and Superfly, because Ice Cube did such an amazing job with the 180 turn of, he is a villain and then he does become like oh hey blah 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 blah, but then immediately he turns and he becomes so ruthless, and they're so similar in a way. And even Superfly just brings that up to Splinter, like, you and I are the same. I'm just not a punk like you. And that's kind of hits a nerve. But, it's really like what's worse, hiding from the world or resenting the world?
Yeah. Yeah, Superfly was definitely one of the strongest characters in this movie in every scene that he's in. My favorite character is going to be Donnie, who I really thought was like the emotional heart of the four turtles. And one of the two most fleshed out, him and Leo, I thought were the two strongest here. Usually in media in the past, it's Mikey who is the most popular turtle. Mikey is my favorite turtle just because he's hilarious. He's the guy who eats pizza, skateboards, and does all this stuff. Donnie is very much a Gen Z turtle, where they kind of have him being to gaming, into anime, and all this stuff. I really dug his character in this movie for sure.
That's true. I loved Donnie. He definitely got a lot more screen time as opposed to Mikey and Raph. Leo also seemed kind of like, I know they're all the same age, but he definitely kind of tapped into the millennial of us.
Yeah.
We're all very anxious for some reason. Well, we know the reason. We don't need to say it, but we're all anxious. We all want, to be liked, but we also want to please our parents. so, so it was nice. And then of course Raph is just like I don't really give a shit. I'm just here to break shit and take names, and I'm all out of names.
The funniest thing about Raph is like April O'Neil is like writing down notes on the turtles when they first meet, and you look at some of the things she writes down and it says, how many people has the red one stabbed?
I missed that.
Which is pretty hilarious. The one thing to keep in front of your mind right now is our rankings for this movie. I'm going to let you go first.
I'll give it a Hall of Fame because it is one of those really amazing. I hate reboots. I'm sick and tired of them, but I really like this reimagined version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My all-time favorite movie, I think, has to be Secret of the Ooze. The 93, 95, definitely the 90s version. But this is now, I think they're tied. I'd have to rewatch Secret of the Ooze. It's making me want to watch it again. It's also making me want pizza.
Yeah, me too. 100%. That's all I've been thinking about is pizza since I watched this movie. I
had
do
pizza last night, and for some reason I want pizza again.
Hey, do it again. Do it as many times as you want. That's what the turtles do. I am going to give this movie a Hall of Fame. I thought it was perfect when it comes to a TMNT movie. It really nailed the characters more so than I've seen in a long time. And admittedly, I haven't really kept up with what's going on Nickelodeon and that animated series, but I did watch the two Michael Bay movies, which I thought were very horrible. And I did watch, was it Batman and the TMNT team up? That was okay. This movie really brought it home, though. Seth Rogen is definitely the best person to be behind a story like this. You know, he's pretty much acted through a lot of these type of stories with Freaks and Geeks and Superbad and everything like that. I can't wait to see the sequel to this movie. We're going to get Shredder in there. We also have an animated series that's going to bridge the gap from movie 1 to movie 2. Sign me up for more Turtles. That's all I'll say.
I agree 1000%. I didn't bother watching the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies just because, and this is me showing my age, I kind of like things kind of being sealed in the glass ceiling, glass case or whatever. And sometimes I'm learning this as I get older. It's okay to listen to new things, check out new technology, and so I'm happy with this. I'm glad Seth Rogen made it. I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad that I got to talk about it with you.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, go see Mutant Mayhem, one of the best animated movies of the year, and a year of very strong animated movies. But I am Jeff. That's my friend Ahmed. This has been Box Office Quarterbacks. We will talk to you guys next week.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga, motherfucker. All right. 100%. So, yeah, go see Mutant Mayhem, one of the best animated movies of the year, and a year of very strong animated movies. But I am Jeff. That's my friend Ahmed. This has been Box Office Quarterbacks. We will talk to you guys next week.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga, motherfucker. All right.